Hey guys, so today we're still talking about physical exfoliation. In particular, I want to talk about physical exfoliation that can really help keratosis pilaris. So before we move on, let's talk about what keratosis pilaris is. It is a buildup of keratin in your follicles. It is more common than what people expect. It often shows up on the arms, which I have keratosis pilaris. All of that red, those red looking bumps, that's keratosis pilaris, so mine are smooth. You don't feel any bumps. But it has that discoloration. It's not only can show up on the back of the arms, it can also show up on the back of your thighs, a few other areas. Just because you have it doesn't mean it needs to show up in all of those areas. And it doesn't need to be very noticeable. It could be very mild in appearance or pretty standout-ish in appearance. But it's quite common, but you can't fix it. You can't make it stop and go away, but you can manage it so that even if you can see some of that discoloration, you don't have to feel it. Or during the summertime when you do your sunless tanning, that darker pigmentation that you've put on your skin can help even it out so it's less noticeable. And then when you're working on the texture, you don't feel it. So we can pretend that you don't have it. That is possible as long as you're managing it. So what I personally use for my keratosis pilaris, which is pretty much the worst part, is on my arms. Occasionally I'll get a few on the back of my thighs, but that's only if I got a little lazy and forgot to do what I'm supposed to be doing. Then it'll show up on the back of my thighs. So what I use is pumice stone. So don't cringe, don't freak out. This is not a cleaning pumice stone. This is one that is for your nails. The texture of a pumice stone is great at removing those really hard formations of the that occur with that buildup of keratin. So I do not scrub my skin with this. That's bad. What I do is I glide over my skin, like barely gliding over it. If you've never used this before, it can feel too much just barely gliding over it. But I've been doing this for years, so I barely glide over it, no pressure at all. If it's gotten really bad in one particular area, I will apply the lightest amount of pressure, like barely any, and do that in a circular motion. As we're learning, everything with exfoliation when it comes to the physical exfoliation is circular motions, especially upward circular motions. So this is what I use in conjunction with a chemical exfoliator. I've mentioned before, it is important to use both physical and chemical exfoliators in your skincare routine. So with my keratosis pilaris, I use this in addition to my body brush that I use over my whole body a few days out of the week. And then when I'm finished up, I use this before I hop into the shower, okay? And then when I'm in the shower after my skin has been cleansed and it's softened, this is when I'll go into those particular areas where I have the keratosis pilaris issue, and I'll lightly glide over it for a few seconds, move on to the next one. I always finish off with the heels of my feet. It's just a good thing to do. I do that every day on the heels of my feet because that skin gets pretty thick. I'm sure a lot of you know it can get pretty gnarly if you ignore it, and so I will, with pressure, not too much, just a little pressure, I will glide over the heel in like fast circular motions just to keep that skin looking and feeling nice and soft. So that's it for today. Just another form of physical exfoliators. I don't recommend you using this on any part of your body if you don't have any skin issues. You can use it on your heels. Everybody can use a pumice stone on their heels. It's great for your heels. You can do it before you get in the shower, or in the shower, or right after the shower. It's your preference. But if you have keratosis pilaris, this is a wonderful thing to use in conjunction with the chemical exfoliator, which I'll be getting to soon.